Brothers and sisters, on Sunday, Palm Sunday, we begin a very important week of reflection on our salvation story. We begin on Thursday evening at our churches when we look at the way Jesus washed his disciples' feet, and he told us that we must serve each other. And then on Good Friday, we read the story of the redemption. We will not have Mass. It is the only day in church when we don't have Mass, but we have the reading of the Passion that will take the chunk of time that we stay in church. Then we have communion, and then we go home. And we're encouraged to keep that silence, that mood of meditation until Saturday. Saturday evening, Gloria Saturday, we come back to church, and again we tell the story of all that God has done for us from the first book of the Bible way down to the New Testament. We'll read stories of how God, out of his love, sent his Son to die. And then on Sunday, we celebrate the resurrection. I would like to reflect on the resurrection day a little bit with you. One of the things that I noticed in our churches, it's overflowing on Good Friday. And that seemed to be the end of the story. People for 40 days and 40 nights have been fasting and praying and giving alms. And on Good Friday, they come to church. And then you don't see them, or very few do come. But the story doesn't end at Good Friday. That's not our faith. That's not what we believe. The story culminates on the Easter, because Jesus didn't only go into the tomb, he rolled the stone away and ascended. So the real joy is on Sunday. And I think it's important that all of us begin to reflect on that. The story of the Christian faith is not about death only and suffering, but it's also about life and healing and salvation. And that is what we celebrate on Easter Sunday, when the whole church gets together to rejoice in the fact that Jesus came not only to die, but to rise again and to take us with him. And I believe many of us don't understand that we come to church Good Friday, maybe Holy Thursday, and we come on Saturday, and then on Sunday, there is nothing. Saturday evening, right into Sunday, when we have the singing of the Gloria, the lighting of the new fire, all kinds of symbols we use. In this country, kite flying is a very important thing. Everybody flies kites. And somehow it's symbolic of what's happening. That Christ didn't only come and die and was laid in a tomb, but he rose. And for us, we use it as a kind of symbol of Jesus rising to new life and taking us with him. Very often, we go on picnics and so on, and we're not thinking in that way. The church encourages us to think on all that God has done for us during this week. Beginning on Tuesday, the bishop will gather with his priests and they will bless the oils that will be used throughout the year. And then on Thursday, we gather in our several churches, our several parishes, and we read the story again, and we wash feet, and we dedicate ourselves to the serving even of the lowliest. And then on Easter Saturday night, we sing the Gloria, and we sing the song of appreciation and the song of joy and the song of love for what God has done for us. And this, I think, is important, that we don't only concentrate on the Good Friday story, on the penance, on the sacrifices, but all of that is leading up to the celebration, Holy Saturday night, Easter Sunday morning. And that's the purpose, right? And I think many of us don't have that. Many of us don't realize that. After Good Friday, we say, that's it until next year. But the story is not a story of only death and suffering. It's the story of life, the story of resurrection. And therefore, our churches should be overflowing with this life, because that is what Jesus came to bring us life and to bring it to us abundantly. And we should remember that as we reflect not only on the hardships and the difficulties and so on, but on the new life that he brings. On this Holy Saturday night, we celebrate this new life. New members are baptized. New members come to the church. We bless water. We bless fire. Everything new again. And we sing the Alleluia. And the church encourages us that let us make this week, this Holy Week, a very important week of meditation and participating in all the celebrations. So, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, Sunday are days of real jollification, and the days when we reflect on and we keep ever before our minds what God has done for us. That in spite of our sinfulness, in spite of our weakness, in spite of all the death around us, God loved us and he sent his Son to die for us. That's the story. That's what we celebrate. And so we call it the Triduum, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days of thinking and reflecting on all that God has done for us. I would like to wish you a very happy Easter, but I would like to remind you, keep thinking, keep before your mind's eye what God has done. Jesus was crucified, was buried, and he rose again on the third day. That's the story. That's our story. That's our entry into life. And the church encourages all of us to enter into that life. Year after year, we remind ourselves, Jesus is about life, not death. He did die. He did hang on the cross, but he rose from the dead. And that is what gives meaning to our faith. That's what we are all about, his rising to new life. Because we hope when our time comes, we too will rise to new and eternal life with God. Thank you.
Let me start this out.